An activity has just unlocked to you. You probably saw it when you turned in your SEL with the green check. It is called Mint Mobile Research Day 2. Today, we're going to learn 3 other words that you must know and use for your Mint Mobiles. Okay, remember we talked about this yesterday. If you don't understand the concepts behind the cars, it is not safe for me to let you drive one. Okay, so we are going to make sure that these words are understood and that we know how to use them appropriately. Okay. If you would please take a look at that Mint Mobile Research Day 2. It says, with your teacher, watch the video of a wind tunnel to review yesterday's vocabulary and discuss the 3 new vocabulary words and record their definitions on slide 2. So let's hop on to that activity. Go ahead and add your response. We saw quick versions of wind tunnels yesterday. This video today is going to explain what a wind tunnel is and why it's used, okay? So what is used in this wind tunnel to test aerodynamics, aesthetics, and variables? We're going to use these 3 words to discuss this video once it is done. So be paying attention to the aerodynamics of the vehicle. Consider any variables or parts that can change on the vehicle, and the aesthetics. How does this look? Okay. I'm sure there's going to be an ad. Look at that. There is. So smart. And skip. Okay. Beautiful. Here we go.
If you're trying to build a super truck, you're going to need a super test. And that means a trip to the world's largest wind tunnel. Truck maker Navistar has poured 5 years of work into this concept big rig. It's part of the Department of Energy's Super Truck program, an effort to increase trucking fuel efficiency by 50%.
The results of this truck can be used to pass on greater fuel efficiency to our customers, so reduce emissions, lower costs for transportation.
It's all about cutting drag to improve efficiency. That means sleek cameras instead of bulky side view mirrors, wheel caps, extra trailer skirts, even a boat tail to reduce the truck's wake. But there's only so much Navistar can learn from simulations. So the company hauled the truck to Mountain View, California, home of the National Full-Scale Aerodynamic Complex, to see how it handles high-velocity winds. Opened during World War II, this facility helped develop early jet planes and the NASA Space Shuttle. In 1987, they added this tunnel, the world's biggest. It's 80 feet high and 120 feet wide, large enough to hold a Boeing 737. This sucker has blasted 100-mile-per-hour winds at everything from helicopters and planes to the parachute that landed the Curiosity rover on Mars. At the beginning of each test, engineers in the control room fire up 6 massive turbines. Each runs a 22,500 horsepower motor, and in minutes, this place becomes a giant vacuum, sucking air from the outside and steering it back out the other end. It moves so much wind, the Air Force, which now runs the facility, warns local pilots about turbulence before cranking up to full speed. No surprise, things can get a bit out of hand. For example, parts can break off and go flying down the tunnel.
There's a lot of things that can go wrong. So we have an entire crew of people making sure that we're doing this properly, safely, and that everybody walks away at the end of the day and ready to go again tomorrow.
Today's test is a bit calmer. Navistar engineers study data from inside the vehicle and monitor how this smoke flows around the exterior. They'll use the test results to spot weak points and perfect the aerodynamics. In the meantime, the team at the wind tunnel is already preparing for its next giant client.
All right, so what does this wind tunnel have to do with aerodynamics? What do you think, guys? What does that have to do with aerodynamics? What is it testing? Uh-oh. I guess we're not going to have any racers this year. Yes, Leah?
It's testing out to see that if there's any leaks in the car, so if it rains, it won't get all wet in the car.
Okay, so this has to do with wind. There's not a lot of water this time, it's wind. What is the wind doing in that tunnel? How's it testing those aerodynamics?
It's seeing, because if you're really cold in the car and the wind's coming, the roof and the windows can make you warm, and the heater can.
The roof and the windows are variables, and those variables are connected to our aerodynamics, but it's not testing temperature. Aiden G, what's it testing?
So the truck and the wind can make friction. So they added that curve to balance the wind and the truck.
Beautiful. So take a look at this wind pattern right here. We know that trucks have this curve right here, right? And look what that does to the wind. All right, remember to mute after your answer because you got a lot of lag. All right, look what it does to that wind. Notice this wind right here. It starts to curve upward too, and then it goes straight. Okay, so what that's showing is that the shape of this truck is making it more aerodynamic. The wind is not getting stuck right here and then making a huge cloud that's pushing against the truck. It is streaming straight off of the truck so that it's not going to get stuck or slowed down by that wind. Good. William, something to add?
The truck is, the curves are directing the wind a different way.
Yes.
So it doesn't get stuck on the truck.
Exactly. There is a direction to the wind so that when that truck encounters the wind from its speed or from weather outside, it's not pushing against the wind and having to use more gas to go faster. It's just flowing in a direction straight off of that truck. Good. Terrence. We might have lost Terrence. His screen just went black. Okay, hopefully you're back, Terrence. So yes, the aerodynamics are being tested by this truck by being able to physically see the way that the air is traveling over the surface, okay? Now, let's talk about aesthetics. Remember, aesthetics are just the stuff we add to make it look cool or beautiful or awesome. It's just the look. On this picture, what do you see that is aesthetic, that has nothing to do with aerodynamics? It's just the way it looks. Levin, what do you see?
A paint job and stickers.
Paint job and stickers, right? This is an orange truck. If this truck were now blue, the wind would still flow the exact same way. Aerodynamics would not be changed. Right here, this is a truck that belongs to a company called Catalyst. If this were a Pepsi truck that was shaped the same way, it just had a Pepsi sticker, nothing's going to change about the aerodynamics. It's all going to be exactly the same. So yes, aesthetics are just the cool stuff that you see, the way things look. William, something to add?
This is an aesthetic.
What is?
This.
Yes, the logo on your headphones, that is an aesthetic view. We're very concerned with aesthetics in fashion, okay, or in name brands. That's very aesthetic. It's not aerodynamic, okay? Yes, Terrence.
So the side things of the wheels help the air go above so it doesn't get in the wheels, because if it gets near the wheels, then it will slow the truck down and stop its motion.
Yes, these are called side skirts. And side skirts are connected to aerodynamics because they keep the wind from going underneath and creating currents. So it keeps the wind going straight off of the car instead of the wind tucking under there and blowing around everywhere. It just keeps going straight off. Okay, great. Yes, Aiden G, something to add.
Like if you change the wheels and they're the same shape, the wind's gonna like still be the same.
So are you saying that can be aesthetics or aerodynamics?
So I'm talking about an aesthetics.
Yeah. Okay, so color of wheels can be aesthetic. It is the shape and the tread or the rubber kind of like grooves that are going to be the aerodynamic portions. Yes, Tim, something to add?
I couldn't remember the word variable on what it meant, so I just put a sign right there.
Nice.
Variable, change in design.
I love it. It is. It's a change in design. So there are some variable parts here that we can see. So some variables might be the wheel well in the shape of those. Some variables might be taking the skirt off or leaving it on. Variables might be the shape of the grill up front. Do larger holes or smaller holes help with the aerodynamics? So there are variables that can change as well. Awesome. You guys are on it. Let's hop to slide 2, please. On slide 2, there is a video that I'm going to log into really quick that you have seen before, but I want us to watch it to review the meaning of force, drag, and friction. Okay, what is force, what is drag, what is friction? Now, some of you are like, I already know, Miss Sousa, and you're right, you do, but I want you to think about it in terms of a car. What is a force on a car? What is drag on a car? What is friction on a car? So think specifically about a car design, okay? Let's watch this to review.
Ready to play baseball? Hey, what is position? Position is the location of an object. I'm on top of the pitcher's mound. You're next to home plate. What is motion? Motion is a change in position. When I throw the ball, I put it in motion, and its position changes. Nice hit, Moby! As you run around the bases, your position changes. You're in motion. When something travels or turns around, it's in motion. Things are in motion when they move back and forth, side to side, and up and down. Things can also move diagonally. A roller coaster can twist and turn in different ways, or move in loops or circles. Speed describes how fast something moves. Some things move fast and can go really far in just a short amount of time. Other things move a lot slower. What are pushes and pulls? A force is a push or pull that can change the way something moves. A push or pull can change an object's position or put it in motion. You can push to open doors or pull to close them. You can push a cart across the floor or pull a wagon behind you. You can even pull to pick things up. When you throw a ball, you pull your hand back and then push the ball to put it in motion. Heavy things need more force to put them in motion. A bowling ball is pretty heavy. You need to use a lot of force to put it in motion. It's a lot easier to move lighter things. What is friction? Friction is a force that slows down moving things. When you ride a skateboard, You drag your foot on the ground to slow down. You use friction. It's pretty easy to skate on a smooth street. But it's really hard to skate on grass. You might stumble or trip. The grass is thick and bumpy. Friction between the wheels and the grass makes it hard to skate. Since there's less friction between the wheels and the smooth street, it's a lot easier to skate, and you can go a lot faster. Friction is a force that pushes against an object to slow its motion. When you run and slide into home base, your body moves forward, but friction pushes in the opposite direction to slow you down. Great job, Moby, but you didn't tag home base.
All right, let's take a look at these words and think about them in terms of our car's design, okay? Force. Our force is our first word. I'm typing, you're typing, so please get ready. Force. Okay, we know that when we are talking about force, we are talking about a push or a pull that makes an object move, okay? Your force for your cars is going to be the pull of gravity. Your cars will be going down a ramp. You are not allowed to push your car so that it goes farther. You are not allowed to pull your car with a string so that it goes farther. You will simply put it on top of the ramp and let go. And gravity will be pulling your car down the ramp to generate speed. Okay, so force is a push or pull that moves an object. Force is a push or pull that moves an object. So I want to make sure you are clear. You will not be applying any force to your car. Your car will simply be rolling, rolling, rolling on its own from the gravity, okay? This is a very, very, very strict rule. If there is even a finger whoop, down the ramp that you push, your car must race again with that count or with that attempt being disqualified, okay? So no forces will be applied to your car by you. Gravity will be the only force moving your object. Yes, William.
I realized that the way the truck was made, that it was changing the position of the smoke.
Yes.
It was changing the position.
Great vocabulary use. Like So the position of the air would have been all on front of the car, of the truck, but because they shaped it, the position of the air changed based on the shape that was created. Yes. Terrence.
Can we add anything at home or no?
We'll go over all the materials when you get them picked up, okay? We'll stay focused on our vocab for right now. All right, drag. This is a big one, guys. You do not want drag on your vehicle, okay? Drag is when air gets trapped by your design and slows the object down. Drag is different from friction, okay? Drag is different from friction. Drag is connected only to air. Friction can be connected to anything that can rub on another surface. So your tires can cause friction. Your tires are not going to cause drag, okay? So drag is going to be created, and let's add a little note here, by your car body. Okay, the shape of your car's body is what will create drag. You do not want drag, okay? So drag, think about that air tunnel, or that, air tunnel, wind tunnel. You don't want the air, the wind, to hit your car and start swirling underneath it and drag it down. You can think of drag like a large parachute. When air gets trapped in the parachute, what happens? It starts to slow down. Okay? So you don't want air getting trapped in your car design. All right? So convertibles are really cool. Okay? Convertible cars. I'm going to attempt to draw a picture. You don't have to draw this. Convertible cars, right? So we've got this. We've got the windshield right here. And then we've got the seat. We've got the end of the car. Go.
It looks like a shoe.
Thank you. All right, so we've got our convertible right here. Okay, and here's our windshield, the glass, and then this is all open. Here's what happens. The air or the wind travels over the front, which is great, over the windshield, but then it gets like this. It starts swirling around in here. And this actually drags the car or slows it down. So if you're in a race, a convertible might look awesome, but it is not going to go faster than a car that has a full hood, because the full hood is going to keep the air going straight over. A convertible is going to cause the air to fall down and drag on that car. Okay? Yes, Braden.
What happens if like the ramp like moves by the wind and like if the car goes down but then it hits the grass, do you get a second try or like that's it?
There's a full track for your car. It will not hit any grass. Your car will be on a controlled track the whole time. So your job is to make sure your car goes straight, because if your car turns left or right and drives off the track, we can't do anything about that. So you want to make sure your cars are going straight.
Okay.
Yes, Terrence.
But doesn't the convertible stop the air because the gravity doesn't let air go downwards?
Gravity, I don't know the effects of gravity on air, but I'm sure that it doesn't do that. But the problem is you have the speed because the car's driving, so the speed that's generating wind doesn't have anywhere to go and it gets sucked into the open space. So yes, it does get trapped down there. I'll see if I can find a convertible in a wind tunnel. Yes, Levin.
So this be if somebody put a brick in the like a little brick in the car, would that be cheating?
We'll talk about your materials when we get there. Okay.
I think it would be, because it would be unfair to all the other people, because when it's going down the ramp, if it's a steep ramp, that thing's gonna go super fast down.
We'll talk about the materials, I promise. Yes, Tim.
I had a question, but I don't have any more. It was, where is the car gonna go after it goes down the ramp?
Yep. You guys are talking about a lot of details that we'll get to next week, okay? Right now we need to do our research background, but I love the excitement. Yes, Leah.
Can we like get help with our family to help with the car?
It is your design.
Okay.
Just like your family wouldn't be helping if you were in a classroom. So like all the students in Miss Renee's classroom, Miss Sharp's classroom, they're going to be building it right here. So it's all your own design. Okay. All right, let's talk about our last word, friction. Now you guys know friction. Remember this? You can feel friction. It generates heat and it slows things down. Now on a car, your friction is going to be caused by the way that you build it, by your design. Okay, the main spot where friction is going to be on your tires. Okay, when you put your tire onto an axle, and actually I have a tire here. Here's your tires. It's a Mint. It's a Mintmobile, okay? When you put your tire onto an axle, here, I actually have one. Here we go. So right here, we've got an axle installed on a car. Okay, here's the axle. Here is our tire. When I put my tire onto the axle, what I don't want to have happen is I don't want it rubbing against this car body. Is it going to turn as fast if it's touching the cardboard? No. If it's out here, or if it's under the car where it's not touching, then it's not going to have a lot of friction. So we're going to want to design our cars so that they're not rubbing up against that cardboard. Okay, that's going to cause friction and it's going to make our tires not spin as fast. So you'll want to design it in a way that it is farther away from your car's body. Okay, so friction is rubbing of objects that slows one or both down. And for this, you want to think about your tires. So when you are designing your car, you will want to make sure that your tires are not experiencing friction anywhere except the ground. We're not making planes, so our tires will experience friction on the ground. They're not going to fly, okay? But that friction can be counteracted. What you don't want to have happen is your tires are getting friction from the ground and from the side of your car. Double friction is going to slow that car way down, okay? And that's where we can think about the tires. Any questions on these designs? When you design your car and you log on to Zoom and you say, Miss Sousa, I'm having a problem. My car goes really fast when it starts, but when it gets to the ground, it slows way down. I'm going to ask you, where do you think your car is experiencing friction? And that's all I'm going to say to you. Where's your car experiencing friction? I'm not going to point it out. I'm not going to explain it. I'm just going to ask. So it's up to you to remember what these words mean and their importance. Okay. All right. Ding. That is the end of round 1. Now it is time to discuss. Discuss these questions with your partner. Be ready to share your ideas with your class. We're going to do question 1 first. What forces help cars to move? Think about cars. You got to put your foot on something and it moves. What forces help cars to move? I want you to answer question 1 with your breakout room and we'll share when you get back. Okay? All righty, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Welcome back. Okay. You have been answering your questions for your partner work. If there were any questions that you did not get to completely type a response to, make sure you get that done during independent work. You should have had time to discuss, so all you got to do is type it down. Slides 4 and 5 are your independent work. On slide 4, you are going to draw a diagram of a car and the forces that act on it. You're going to label your diagram. The question is, what forces act on a car as it moves? Your answers can be found in these links. Okay, so you're going to draw a car, kind of like I did right here, and you're going to label the forces, kind of like this. This is drag. There you go. You're going to label the forces that act on your car. On slide 5, it says, think about what you have learned. How will you reduce friction on your car design? So what are you going to do to make sure there's not as much friction? Okay. That is your independent work for today, kiddos. Remember, if your work's not done, you don't race. Okay. You can build a car all day. but you're not going to put it in the race if you don't get your work done. We are very serious about that in 3rd grade. All right. So get your assignment done, get it turned